Hey everyone, and welcome to a guide for Kingdom 2 Crowns. This time we'll be giving an overview of the Norse Lands campaign. This will cover some of the general differences in gameplay compared to the regular campaign, but not the new mounts or artifacts in great depth. I'll be covering them in separate videos as there's a lot of information to go over. Anyway, let's get started. As you'd expect, there's a whole bunch of cosmetic changes to the islands, your buildings and villages, giving it the appropriate Viking theme, similar to the differences between the European and Shogun biomes. However, there's also some quite large changes to the mechanics. One of the main differences to the other campaigns is that there are 6 islands in Norse Lands, so there's an extra cliff portal that needs to be destroyed in order to complete the campaign. The technology upgrades are a little bit different too. Instead of stone and iron mines, you'll unlock logging camps for stronger types of wood, which links to the many different types of wood that the Vikings used for construction. This is a purely cosmetic change, but it's still pretty cool. You also won't find the equivalent of the iron technology until you reach the 5th island, meaning you won't be able to build the bomb or fully upgrade your walls until a little later in the game. The greed that you face take a slightly different form in Norse Lands. You're unlikely to find any floaters, though some people have reported finding them after a couple hundred days, meaning there's minimal danger of your defences being carried away. But there is a new addition to their attacks, a kind of hermit crab known as a crusher. The crusher has a charge that it uses to deal a burst of damage to your walls. Your archers and fire aren't able to damage a crusher while it's walking towards your walls due to its armour, but there are a few ways to make it vulnerable. You can spend 1 coin to send one of your knights or squires charging out of your wall, which will knock back the crusher and leave it open to damage. The new berserker unit also does the same, and so does the charge from the Sleipnir mount. Other than this, the greed are pretty much the same. Night attacks, natural blood moons and retaliation blood moons will still get progressively harder throughout the game, and more dangerous units will join the attacks. Also, the addition of a 6th island means that the islands have a slightly different number of portals on them than usual, but it's not a big change. The Norse villagers are quite different too. Every one of them is able to attack breed, even basic villagers and farmers, meaning your defences won't crumble as easily if your walls break, and giving your villagers a bit more of a chance to retreat back to your kingdom if they're caught outside your walls during an attack. You won't find any pikemen, ninjas or catapults to help your defences here. Instead, there's the new berserker unit, which can be bought for 3 coins, and the job is taken by an existing builder rather than an archer or villager. As mentioned earlier, the berserker will defend your kingdom by charging out from your defences and chopping everything in its path. This is a little bit of a suicide mission, so don't expect them to last too long. However, you can make them last a little bit longer with the Berserker Hermit from the final island, who costs 3 gems to unlock and allows you to turn an upgraded tower into a place to buy an extra berserking potion for each of your berserkers, giving them more health and swapping their 2 axes for 1 bigger one. The downside to berserkers compared to pikemen and ninja is that they don't fish during the day or have any other way of helping out around the kingdom, so they're a purely defensive unit. There's also been a change to how archers join a squire or knight's army. Previously, they would just join automatically as long as the army hadn't reached capacity. However, there's a new building in Norse Lands, the Shield Hut, which allows you to buy shields for your archers, builders and villagers for 2 coins each. These shields add an extra bit of health to anyone who picks them up, allowing them to survive another hit before losing their job. And once an archer has picked up a shield, they'll look to join a squire or knight's army. There's another new hermit as well as the berserker hermit that I mentioned earlier, and that's the fire tower hermit, found on the 3rd island for 3 gems, and acts similarly to the ballista hermit, as it allows you to upgrade one of your archery towers into another defensive tower. The fire tower is manned by 1 builder and 1 archer. The builder throws a sack of oil on the ground, which the archer then ignites with a fire arrow, leaving a patch of fire on the ground similar to the lizard mount. This is quite a long range, and if an oil sack lands close to an existing fire, then it can automatically ignite without the archer's arrow. This is a great tower, and it's definitely worth picking up if you're struggling with your defences. The Brewery Hermit is a minor variation of the Bakery Hermit, with the only real difference being that when a vagrant drinks one of the drinks from the brewery, they are instantly recruited, as opposed to the bakery where the bread would lure them in, but they'd still need to be recruited afterwards. The last main difference, which may be a bit of a bug, is that your banker only appears for a small amount of time during the day, making it harder to deposit and retrieve coins from them. That covers the main changes in mechanics to the game, so now a not very exciting but quick list of what you can find on each island. The first island has a new mount generally known as the Day-Night Horse, the Horn Hermit, the Archery Statue and the Yalahorn artifact. The second island has the Great Stag, the new Cat Chariot mount, the Brewery Hermit, the first technology upgrade and the Dog. The third island has the new Sleipnir mount, the new Fire Tower Hermit, the Statue of Building and the Mjolnir artifact. The fourth island has the new Kelpie mount, the Stable Hermit, the Scythe Statue and the Hell's Trophy artifact. The fifth island has the new Gull and Bursty mount, the Knight Statue and the second technology upgrade. And finally, the sixth island has the new Fenrir mount, the new Berserker Hermit and the Loki's Staff artifact. Beyond that, the tactics for beating the game are pretty much the same as the regular campaign, so just work your way through the islands, spending gems on anything you want to try out and building up your defences as you go until you reach the fifth island and unlock the bomb. Then you can choose between destroying just the portals on the cliff side of the islands or destroying all portals as you go. The first option is easier as it's a lot quicker and means the retaliation waves you face by the end of the game are easier than if you destroy all portals. As I mentioned earlier, I'll be covering the mounts and artifacts in separate videos, but they're all worth having a play around with, as you'll find enough gems along the way to get whatever you want, and you can swap between the artifacts after unlocking them in a similar way to swapping between monarchs in the Deadlands campaign. Without going into further detail here, I found Sleipnir to be generally the most useful mount of the campaign, similar in versatility to the Griffin, and either Yalahorn or Mjolnir were the most useful artifacts, depending on how you play, but we'll cover that elsewhere. That's pretty much it for this overview of the Norse Lands campaign. It was a lot of fun to play through with some cool new mounts and artifacts, so if you've played the base game and enjoyed it, then I think it's worth buying this DLC. So that's everything for this time. If you're looking for more tips and guides, then check out some of my other videos, but until then, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.